out.
Got that.
And perfect. And now we're going to see how we're going to live stream right here. Live stream to. Be patient with us.
We don't have it. Our team is all evacuated.
Yeah, people are everywhere. Discombobulated at the moment. Okay, let's live stream to YouTube. Let me just make sure it's connecting. Continue. Continue. Let me see. So I think we're gonna go live any moment right now. So we'll see how it's gonna work out. And let me some things here as well. Okay. I think we're gonna go live any moment right now. Oh yeah, so we'll see how it's gonna work. Okay, so we're live on YouTube. I can see this being live.
Great.
So let me go back into Zoom. Here we are. So welcome. As many of you know, my name is Elena, and thank you so much for joining us today. Lisa is going to be my co-host today. Lisa Koche, she's been a friend of mine, gosh, I was trying to think how many years? 19 years? 20,
At least
19
like
years?
18, somewhere in that vicinity. Yeah.
So just to give an introduction, because some of you might not know who Lisa is, so go ahead and I think you're my co-host, right?
Yes, it's working, I think.
It's working? Okay. Do you see
Yeah.
the double screen? So Lisa, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Oh, I don't see a double screen, but
Oh,
I
you
see the
don't.
normal
Let me
Zoom.
just make sure. Does everyone see a double screen for the
Hey
speakers?
girls, it's Alejandra. It's flashing between you two. As you speak, it'll flash to Lisa if she's talking, and if Elena, you're talking, it goes to you. Okay? Just so you know.
Perfect. Okay. So Lisa, go ahead and
So I just wanted to welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Elena and I have very similar drives to serve, especially in uncertainty. And so I just had reached out to her and said, let's do this. People are staring at the weather station for too long. And can we focus some intent together and see what we can do with this storm? Because I do really believe intent and focused coherence. It's been proven to make active change. So I am a physician in Tampa, in holistic medicine as well. Do a lot of energy work along with functional medicine, and we have a big collaborative clinic. And are building a bigger one that will be more of a community destination. So community is at my heart. And I love through Zoom and tech that we can reach community all over the world. So thank you to everyone who's joining us. Thank you to Elena for doing this with me. And we look forward to just spending a few minutes in love and space holding together.
yes. And I just want to say for people who don't know where we live, right? So majority of our community knows, but I just want to go into the bigger group since we are live streaming on YouTube. So both Lisa and I live in Tampa Bay area in the region where supposedly this massive hurricane is coming. And people who live in flood zone A and B had to evacuate because of the storm surge, potential of the storm surge going up to 15 feet. And there's a couple of you that are here who also live in Florida and also in this region as well. I can see some of the faces. And many had to leave town. Lisa left with her family, and Alejandra and I, and my oldest son, Alejandra's daughter, and my dad and 3 dogs were all staying in. We are not in the flood zones, I just wanted to say, but we are in the area that floods. So people say, why is there such panic? Well, I think in the last couple of years, we've had so many people that have been moving to Tampa Bay area. So we went from, I don't know, maybe a couple of 100,000 to now over a couple of million people who live in Tampa Bay area. And our roads are just not made for all of the new construction that has taken place. We don't really have substantial drainage systems. So whenever it rains, people will say, how is it you were driving and the roads are flooding? And did you not experience this 10 years ago? And I was like, never. I've never experienced what we're experiencing today. So I'm sure, Lisa, for you, it's been the same. It's been a struggle driving through flooded streets. And we've lost a car a couple of years ago, actually during COVID, because Alejandro didn't know that one of the streets floods so bad. He drove through it and his car died. So imagine right now we have rain. So they're projecting the rain that we're going to have today that will be equivalent to having 1 month of rain in Tampa. So I just kind of wanted to say that. And so many people are stressed out and anxious. And Lisa and I talked about how it's very reminiscent, the energy is reminiscent of COVID. And I find myself, I'm sitting at home and I'm like, okay, this is very interesting because everything is frozen. For those of you who live here, who are going through this, everything is at a standstill here. So I don't know if you want to talk a little bit of where
Yes, I was very, very active and speaking out during COVID. And I will say that the energy is similar in that we're being forced to sit in the unknown. And I think even if you don't live here, obviously, if you're on this stream, you're compassionate, empathic, wanting to help, maybe have family here. And the difference I feel that's beautiful actually between COVID and what's happening with these storms is we still have fear and uncertainty, but we're seeing connection as the result, when in the pandemic it was isolation and divisionary. So holding on to that, even if you guys are isolated in your homes locally, but wherever you are, being able to bring community together, send some healing frequencies to not only the storm, but to the people that are going to be impacted in one way or the other. So that piece is really great. I also think that the way the planet is right now, and Elena and I agree on this as well, we're in a very unstable time in general. We're seeing the collapse of the patriarchy in many ways, of different large corporate, everything from, corporate America especially, but corporations to medicine, to government, to Hollywood, like things are collapsing in front of us, which is overall a very good thing because it needed to. The stagnant old energy needs to make room for balanced, loving, divine feminine and masculine frequencies, and sometimes things have to be shaken, and that's what I believe we chose to be present on the planet at this time to help lead people through this. And that's all of you, not just me and Elena. It's everybody that understands and feels the capacity to connect and make change. So that's something I'm passionate about, because I feel like when we're given these experiences, we can see where how far evolved we are in handling the unknown. And all of us got triggered, even, a little bit. And I think I can speak for both of us, that we've maybe felt it, and then we've been able to recenter and felt it and recenter. And that's almost like working out. It's training you for resiliency. So we can use that kind of concept whenever you're over the next few days, if you're local and or not, whenever you're feeling that unknown uncertainty frequency that brings up panic, allow yourself to sit with it for a minute, ask your body what it needs, maybe journal. My favorite, which is Epsom salt, which here at the hotel, I manifested a tub. And the spa was having half price yesterday before they closed. And so they had Epsom salt. So if you're home and you have access to that, that's always a powerful thing. Candles, and just, again, community. So that's the main wisdom I wanted to share about this.
No, that's beautiful. I know that where we are, our bathtubs were filling up with water in case we lose our power, and we have to, we have to ride the storm. So our bathtubs at the moment are filled. Our pots and pans are filled with water, and it's a very interesting feeling. It actually takes me back to the days of when, we lived in the former Soviet Union, where we would lose power and we had no water, and then a friend of mine said, well, or you could be like, pretend that you are at Burning Man. I'm like, yeah, you could say that. But, up to this point, I've been kind of calm, but it's interesting to see the fear and the anxiety that is rising up in a lot of people who are not from here and they don't understand, but also knowing like a lot of our friends, Lisa and I have friends who have lost their homes with the last hurricane that came through, their homes, their businesses, everything they've ever owned. And I just also, it took me back to the time where I'm sure in your life, at some point in your life, you've had to, when you've moved, you had to purge. So this is also an invitation, even if you're not living through this hurricane, to see what you're ready to let go of. And I think it's an interesting inner dialogue to have, because we tend to collect things over a lifetime, things that we don't actually need. And one of my friends reached out to me yesterday, and she said, before I drove away, a 9-hour drive to Georgia, I said goodbye to my home, and I took whatever I could in my car with me. And that's a powerful conversation, I think, to have, whether you are living through the storm or not. I purged a year ago, moving from my house to where we are today, and that was very interesting to go through 20 plus years of things, right? So again, I think it's an invitation for global community to look into our collective patterns of holding on to things and what is truly important, right, in life, whether it's, of course, your family, your friends, the community is really what it's about, and not so much the things, because things in life can come and go. Now, a couple of things I wanted to share. I know Lisa said that yesterday you were meditating and connecting to the storm, and I think today we'll have that intention. I printed a photograph of this hurricane, so I've been connecting to it. I've been sending, Alejandro and I actually created frequency sessions. We've been sending frequency sessions since yesterday to this hurricane to dismantle it. Then, of course, from my geometry symbols, I wanted to see what symbol would be powerful enough to dismantle it. So those of you that use geometry, I think this is also a powerful way you can connect to it. I've been using a counterclockwise spiral. I don't know if you can see that, right? A counterclockwise spiral to just begin to deactivate and weaken the storm. There's so many different ways to connect to it. But I think before we begin the meditation, and Lisa wanted to do some breath work before that as well. Perhaps we can also connect to the spirit of water. I think this is important because the hurricane is water, and to the spirit of air. And see in a moment of silence what it is wanting to share with us, because water is the medium through which all information flows, whether it's in ethers. We are 99.9% by molecular weight water, and everything on our planet, we're living on a water planet. So it's important to keep that in mind, that this particular hurricane has a lot to say, and it's about tapping into what does it want to share with us. And perhaps through our intention, collectively, we can connect and see what the intention of the hurricane is and how we can collaborate or co-create an outcome that is more positive versus create this havoc that it has a potential of doing. So Lisa, I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Well, I'm gonna jump in on that. So interestingly, the patterns I've been playing with, which this is I don't know if you can't see it. Hold on. It's the same symbol. Showed. We didn't talk about this. And
you have the Merkaba, because I have two. I have the Merkaba and I have the spiral.
This is a drawing, which I guess because I'm blurred on there. There's the Merkaba over the state of Florida. So that's always one of my most favorite.
So we didn't talk about this.
We didn't
very
talk about this. Plus, I've been sort of diving into the consciousness of the storm, and I'll just share how I handled COVID, because I think there's a lot of similarities. So I choose to believe that viruses and acts of nature, because they have frequencies, have a consciousness. And so during COVID, I would connect into the virus, especially when it was feeling like it was dancing around me. There was one time where I think we were together, because I was up in your room and you ended up getting COVID. Everyone around me had it at a big event. I also stayed open in the office the entire time without shots, and seeing patients that were sick and prescribing ivermectin early on. And I never to this day have gotten COVID. And I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that I sort of honored its purpose, which I felt was ascension on the planet, waking people up and awakening humanity to a certain degree. So when I felt it coming in, I tapped in and I said, I understand, you have a consciousness, you have some capacity to shift. It doesn't need to be this harsh. It doesn't need to be killing people. And especially for me, I said, I promise to continue my own journey. I don't need this experience as part of it. And I had a big event, my first time speaking on a really big stage, when it was circling in my field. And I did that for about 3 hours on the drive down to Palm Beach. And I felt dramatically better by the time I got there. So I look at the storm in a similar way. It's obviously a communication from Gaia. And I love what you said, Elena, about water and air elements. And I think part of the new Earth is us really connecting at a planetary level with Gaia, with nature. And like you said, we can talk to these elements. So I chose to go in the opposite direction that the hurricane was spinning, so the counterclockwise. Brought myself down into as much of the middle as I could, and just gently kind of sent dissipating frequencies there. So all of you guys can do that over the next 24 hours to help focused intention with potentially dissipating, because I truly believe we have that capacity. So what I wanted to do, just to get everybody in, is along the lines of the impact with the planet, is HeartMath, which has been around since the 90s, has done a lot of research on the frequencies of the planet. And they have a global coherence app, so everybody should check it out. But there is a way they've proven that when people are in community and focused in coherent breathing and meditation, that we can make shifts in the frequencies on the planet. So why wouldn't we be able to make a shift in a storm that's a byproduct of the planet? That's how I like to look at it.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely. It's actually also based on some of the studies that were done. Look at something that is called the Maharishi effect, right? By focusing, and actually there's several groups that have formed as a result of that, right? Like Lynn McTaggart has done events where she calls it the group of 8, where a group of 8 people or more can focus on and have a specific intention. And then they saw crime rates decreasing, natural disasters also decreasing. So knowing that we have the capacity to change the outcome of the severity of this storm. And I think this is so important. So yeah, Lisa, thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah. So as we get started, and this doesn't need to be long, maybe just 10 or 15 minutes, I'm just going to get you into something I'm studying more and more, which is heart coherence, that frequency. And most people have heard of it, but they don't really know what it is. I don't think anyone really knows exactly what it is, but it is a state where we've been able to show our heart rate variability. So our heart beat to beat variability, our brain waves and nervous system, brain waves, and then our nervous system and reactivity and emotions are all in sync. And it's very different than relaxing. So this is not just meditating, it's actually more focused. And some of the studies that they've done, which are also really fascinating, they've done, one of the funniest ones actually, is they did it for people that were about to go gambling. And the group that got into coherence before hand won more money. And so there's something called precognition associated with heart coherence. precognition, they would show people random computerized images of known things that will elicit an emotional response. And they had them all mic'd up, you know, with the heart rate and pulse and respiratory rate and all that. And the people that were in a coherent state actually could predict the image that was coming before it flashed on the screen, and it was random. So that's pretty wild, showing us that we really don't know a lot about our capacity as humans when we're living in that state. So what I'd like everybody to do is just get comfortable and close your eyes. And we're going to start by just thanking Elena, thanking all of you, thanking technology for allowing us all to be together, no matter where we are and what our scenario is at this moment. Get yourself grounded. And I always like to start by some big deep breaths. And I want you to take the chatter that may be in your brain, the fear, concern, and on the inhale, drop that into the chest area. And then on the exhale, just blow it out. It can go out the front, the sides, the back. So we're going to just drop in and big breath in and then blow it out. Just keep going. When you inhale, drop the chatter, exhale, blow it out. Inhale, bring your consciousness into your heart. Exhale, release it out of all sides. Keep going until the chatter is clear, with the inhale dropping down and the exhale clearing. And then as you start to feel a little bit more centered, coherence breathing is not breath work. It's actually remarkably simple. So it's not work. It's like the way we are supposed to be. So what you're going to do is take breaths in for 5. I'm going to count, and then out for 5. There's no hold. There's nothing else to it than synchronized in and out breaths. So let's start by breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep going. Inhale and exhale. 2 more. Inhale and exhale. And as you keep with your breath, I want you to picture something that you have extreme gratitude for. Anything that makes you feel grateful, and breathe that in. And on the exhale, you can let go anything that's not coherent with that. Inhale, gratitude. Exhale and let go. 2 more in gratitude. And 1 more. And then now just bring in a picture of something you love more than anything. It could be an unconditional love. It could be a pet. It could be a child. It could be your spouse. It could be a friend. It could be a nature scene. And just bring that right into your heart. Inhale and exhale. Do that 2 more times. And more. And before I turn it over to have Elena lead us, I want to just check in to where we started. So the chatter that was in the brain, it should be released. And there should be a more open path from kind of your crown to your heart. So on the inhale now for these last few centering breaths, I want you to bring in the vision of your higher self, your healed self, and the planet in her healed state where we're in communication and we don't need any of these natural disasters, and just that image of the earth and you on it. We're going to bring that in through the crown on the inhale. And on the exhale, send it to every cell in your body. Welcome it in. Exhale to every cell. And one more. The image of the healed earth, our powers of collective love, and exhale. And now, if you're feeling more present, I'm going to send it to you, Elena.
Thank you, Lisa. That was so beautiful. There's definitely a shift that happened. It's such a simple exercise and yet so profound, right?
Yes.
And this is a great reminder of no matter how stressed one feels or anxious, that you can just take the simple reminder of breathing in such a simple, and yet it's a natural way for us to be, simple way of being, to just recenter ourselves and release all that stress, anxiety, things that no longer serve our higher self. So as you stay in this state of relaxation, I'd like for you to go deeper, bringing the beautiful white light, actually the golden light, golden white light, from the crown, from the universe collectively, bringing and running it through your whole body. And at the same time, visualizing roots growing from your feet and your tailbone into the center of the earth. As you inhale, you bring the beautiful energy from above you and you anchor yourself into the very core of this beautiful, majestic planet. Again, inhale and feel this beautiful energy rising above you and through you as you relax into it deeper and deeper. And the intention of today is to collectively shift the energy of Hurricane Milton. So first, let's focus on what our intention is. So the intention is not to send it somewhere so it creates havoc in that region. You know, I think that the goal is to dismantle the hurricane so it reduces the amount of damage it can cause all along the Florida state, to keep people out of harm's way. So one of the things that I thought about we can connect to with our intentions. So first, go into your heart center. Your heart center is where your intuition resides. And if you want to place your hand on your heart, just so you can connect to that area. So inhale and exhale, and just feel your heart chakra expanding out and creating this beautiful, coherent auric field all around you. Imagine that it's the size of the room you're in, perhaps the building, the house that you're in. And now let's set an intention. So first, let's connect to the element of water. Since we're mostly water, we live on this majestic planet of water. And the hurricane is also water. So let's connect to the spirit of water through our hearts and listen to what it has to say. And I'd like to look at it as this hurricane can be a reflection of our collective, of the humanity's state of being. So if we're collectively going through anxious times, wars, anxiety, uncertainty, this in a way is a mirror reflection. This hurricane is a mirror reflection of our collective state of being. So in order for us to impact the hurricane, it's important that collectively we go into the state of coherence, as Lisa said earlier. And let's just breathe and release any kind of tension and anxiety that each and every one of us feels. And again, this is very much relevant to what's happening with this hurricane, but I would say with any stressful situation. And maybe you can connect and shake also this energy, because what we tend to do is we tend to sit and watch TV and build up this pressure in our body. So let's also like shake it off and shake it out, right? So however that is, if you want to stand up or if you want to just be seated and do it, but it's important that you release this energy from your body as well. Move your neck, your shoulders, your feet, your hips. Water doesn't like stagnation. Our bodies don't like stagnation. So if you want to just kind of move and let it all out. And also remind yourself to move throughout the day, because it's important that you, whether you do jumping jacks, if you dance, put the music that you love on, all of it is very important. If you do yoga, any kind of movement, especially those of us that right now that are in Florida and we can't go outside, the weather is looking pretty, yeah, it's raining heavily at the moment. So moving your body is very important. So as you connect to this element, remember that it is connecting all of us. It's the field of information that we are all connected through and to one another. Now let's connect to the element of air, because air is fueling this hurricane, right? It's the energy of air that is moving. So I was thinking that what fuels the hurricane is hot waters. So one of the things that we can do to impact this hurricane to where it begins to dismantle is visualizing and connecting to cool air coming from above. So that could be one of the intentions, that you can bring cool air down, sort of like, if something is burning, you want to bring the cool air to subside the fire, right? And bring the winds down as well. So let's bring in this cool energy into our beings. And as we connect to our hearts and to our intentions, let's visualize there's quite a nice group here that we all are holding hands together, because our hands are an extension of our heart. So as we hold our hands together, we're creating this beautiful sacred circle. And in the middle of this circle, we're going to visualize the Hurricane Milton and the state of Florida. And actually, let's visualize the Gulf of Mexico in there as well, because the hurricane is gaining strength in the Gulf of Mexico. So we're going to visualize that. We're going to connect to the energy through our hearts, through our intention, because we manifest our reality through our thoughts. So we're going to bring this cool air in. We're going to hold the intention of having this hurricane energy being disempowered. And perhaps you want to send love to this hurricane, communicate with it, and see what shows up for you. And you're also welcome to use sacred geometry symbols. It's interesting that Lisa and I did not communicate about this, but what showed up for both of us was the spiral that is going counterclockwise to disempower the hurricane, right? So the counterclockwise. So the counterclockwise spiral actually takes us from the physical matter into the spirit. So also remember that. It's a good way to just take something from physical and dismantle it into the spirit. And then the Merkaba you can use as well, which is bringing the divine masculine and divine feminine energies in. And you can use that to also be part of the spin in the counterclockwise direction to dismantle the hurricane. So let's take a deep breath in. We're holding our hands together. And let's beam this intention from our hearts and our minds to the center of the circle. And if you want to bring in the archangels as well, so angels always wait for us to communicate and ask for their help. And I believe that we need all the help possible here with us today and over the night. So again, with every breath you take, inhale, exhale, and just visualize Hurricane Milton being dismantled. Bringing the cool air down. Why not visualize making it a tropical storm instead of a hurricane? So let's bring it down to the level of tropical storm.
And can we send it the message that we appreciate the message it's trying to bring to humanity? Be acknowledged that it had a purpose and that we will help as light workers to spread that purpose of waking up and connection and love and letting go of the toxic things that none of us want around anymore. That we will honor that mission.
Yes, beautiful. That's beautiful. We can all send that intention of whatever we're ready to let go of into the storm as well as we dismantle it. There is an element of what is no longer serving each and every one of us that is going to be released with the storm.
And then add to Gaia in general, all these natural disasters of any type. So we just expand this to dismantle before it even starts.
Yeah, this is a great invitation to go within and see ask yourself, what am I ready to let go of in my life today?
And if we can also make a promise on how we can connect to Gaia, whether it's getting outside more,
Mm.
you know, getting active in conservation, cleaning up the beaches, anything like that. Make a promise that you will connect more, even if it's just in your meditations.
Yes. Beautiful. Of how we can be of service
Yeah.
to our majestic planet that we live on. This is a great reminder. You know, for people who are part of our community, a couple of years ago, we revealed the vibrational frequency of planet Earth, and it was 700. So we live on a very enlightened planet. As humanity collectively, we're below the frequency of 200. So we are absolutely in disharmony with our planet. So thank you, Lisa, for that comment, because it's a huge reminder for us to be of service to this planet. And also it's a great reminder of things, so many things we think we need, but we really don't. And the beauty that is all around us. So yeah, once the storm comes down, this will be an opportunity for many, at least, who live in the state of Florida, to really clean up, not only in their own personal life, but also our neighborhoods are going to have to be cleaned. What a disaster we had in the last 2 weeks after the previous storm. But for those of you that live, I know there's people that are joining us from Portugal, from South Africa here, I see, from UK, and many other parts around the world. I think this is a great reminder for you today to remind yourself, Switzerland, yes, what you're ready to let go of, and how can you serve our planet and also connect with people in our communities. Even though we have this beautiful way of connecting through social media and what we're doing here today, it's very important to also get to know people in your communities and get together and see what you can do collectively, locally. And then, of course, we hold the power as humanity to connect as we are doing here today. So somebody wrote Austria is here as well. Amazing. And I wanted to see if perhaps you can write in the comments as well, before we end this beautiful intention, calming the storm meditation, of what came through for you in the comments when you connected to this hurricane. Oh, Peru, we have somebody from Peru as well. Amazing. The world peace. Yes. Beautiful. Denmark. Locally from Tampa, Harbor Island.
Mm.
And then, oh, my friend is in Greece joining us as well. Spain.
I love all the comments, wanting Earth to be acknowledged. I feel that deeply. It's here to help. Stopping consumer overuse for sure. You know, a lot of us said we were overpopulated here, and can't they go back?
Overbuilding. Agree.
So I have a feeling some people will be leaving the state.
I know Lisa and I had this conversation, like, where do you go? And both of us said we love where we live.
Yeah.
We love where we live. We live in a beautiful state. I also thought about pulling a card. I think it's going to be very important because people love those cards. Wisdom of the Oracle. Yeah. I also have another deck on water, but let's do Wisdom of the Oracle just to see what energy. Oh, the water is upset with pollution. Yes.
Yes, for sure. And when you meditate on that, just envision the solution to that, because there's going to be a solution to clear our waters. I believe that for sure. So just tell her that it's coming, that we hear her.
Mm. All right. How many cards for this hurricane? 1 or 3?
Mm.
We can do this deck, or I have this other one, which is also beautiful. So maybe we can pull from both. This one is called Healing Waters Oracle. So maybe, yeah,
Let's do one of each.
one of each. Okay. Although there's all voting on 3 for balance.
Okay, then 2 from the waters.
2 from the waters. Okay. And then, okay. So we'll do 1 from the wisdom of the oracle. Oh, they're saying 3 of each. 3 of each.
That's too
That's a lot of cards, but okay, let's see. So Hurricane Milton in the state of Florida. And I want to say thank you to all of you who are showing up here. Many of you are with us, have been with us for the last, gosh, I think 4 or 5 years in our community, showing up every month. All right. So this is from the wisdom of the oracle. And this one says, Unfinished Symphony. So we'll read about that. First, I'll pull the cards and then we'll look. And then the water. Okay, Healing Waters. So this card says the Healing Lagoon. The Healing Lagoon. Okay. Rejuvenate, recovery, time to heal. It's safe to stop. Okay. And the second card from this deck is Beneath the Surface. And it says, what's really driving you? True motives, breaking free. How relative is that, right? We talked about what are you ready to let go of? The breaking free. Would you like for me to read the deeper meaning of these cards? Or does everyone kind of have it? Yes, read it. Lisa? Yes, no?
Sure. I think you could read at least a little bit from each
Yeah,
one.
I'm trying to see where the booklet is. I don't know. Oh, here. Okay, so let's read the Unfinished Symphony first. It's card number 10. You know what? I'd rather do this than watch the news right now. How many of us have been staring right at like, what is the path this hurricane is taking? So this is a lot healthier, I think.
It is, I think.
Okay. So thank you for being here. So Unfinished Symphony. It says unfinished business, an incomplete lesson, lack of closure, and the need to make amends.
Mm. That's good. That's with Earth, right?
Yes. Now let's go into, I'll read a little more about Healing Lagoon. Sorry about my dogs barking. Let's see. Yeah, we have 3 dogs at the moment here.
I will say humanity is beautiful at the hotel I'm at. They've let everyone have, there's pets everywhere. I've never seen anything like it. It's beautiful. In a nice hotel in Orlando, they're roaming throughout everywhere. And everybody's being so great and beautiful. And there's a lot of Tampa community here connecting at this hotel in Orlando. So that's
Beautiful.
beautiful.
And you have a generator where you are.
Yes, at least in the common areas.
Okay, well, okay, that's good. Okay, the healing waters are here to hold you, to heal you, to revive you. It's not only safe for you to slow down, sometimes it's necessary. So we've talked about how sometimes life just stops, right? Everything stops, and we have to be in this pause, suspended state to take care of your physical, emotional, and mental well-being, to replenish yourself with whatever it is that you're yearning for most, to slow down and rest. And it's so interesting leading into this. I know I've been overworked, literally 6 to 7 days a week. I'm sure, Lisa, you are as well. So in many ways, this is a very necessary pause in our lives. The healing lagoon is a place of nourishment, recovery, and rest. The waters are urging you to slow down to a sustainable pace, and wherever possible, to give things to yourself preemptively, not only when you burn out. I'm sure many of us here are in that place. This is a card of self-care, pleasure, and tender nourishment. How can you ease into resting, replenishing, regenerating, and receiving? It's a beautiful message. Okay, so that was the healing lagoon, and now beneath the surface. Okay. What's really driving you? True motives and breaking free. Often the things that we think we want are not what we really want are deep down. Sometimes we go after them because the world has told us we should do certain things or be a certain way, and we don't realize there is a choice. Sometimes we're driven by the need to keep up, be approved of, or fit in. Sometimes we do things just because we have always done them, and we cannot even see out of the box that is containing us. My vision is going in and out, just so you know, I can't see. I'm wearing bifocal contact lenses. So if you see me reading like this, it's because I can't see. The beauty of getting wiser.
Oh.
Yeah. Sometimes what we're chasing is really chasing us. What is it that you truly want? And why do you want what you truly want? Be honest about it. What are you chasing that is holding you captive? Are you being called to break free from the box that is containing you? What's beneath the surface of what you currently see? What are your true motives deep down? Are you expanding energy on things that aren't true inner yearning? What is really driving your behavior and your desires? We talked about that, right? That this is really the time to revisit of what you're ready to let go of, whether it's material things, belief systems, relationships in your life.
I would say I would love to add, because my word for 2024, my statement, and I can't believe it's already October, was I no longer chase. So that energy is very unhealthy. And when I teach, a lot of what I teach is about overcoming reactivity and staying in the eye of the hurricane of reactivity. It's what I quote a lot. So maybe as you're dismantling and dissipating and counterclockwizing this storm, think about what it's like for once to not chase. Don't chase what the relationship or the behavior that you think is acceptable and expected of you. Don't chase the money, don't chase the opportunities, let them come to you. And a lot of times when we stand still, the more I've really worked on that myself, it becomes clear what the right path is. So I think nothing symbolizes chasing more than a storm. So as we kind of center in, we can feel what that feels like to just be. And then this we don't have to get wrapped up into that reactivity. So
That is so beautiful.
yeah.
And it kind of comes to the conclusion of where we also started, that this hurricane is a mirror reflection of our human collective consciousness. So as we begin to dismantle, and believe me, there's more than enough of us here, as we begin to dismantle our own belief systems that are limiting, and every one of us has them, right? As we begin to dismantle things that we don't really need. And exactly what you just said, Lisa, chase things, relationships that are out of alignment with who we are and our higher purpose. This is an invitation, a beautiful conversation that emerged from this chaotic, anxious moment in our life. I thank you for this.
Yeah. I think we'll be doing this again.
Yes.
Thank you everyone for joining us. I'm grateful to everyone, my friends, my team, my followers, my patients, loving on all of you. So look forward to meeting all of you someday and seeing you again, and sending everyone so much love. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Lisa. Be safe, stay safe. All my Tampa people here too. Be safe. And we'll be checking in with you on social media, letting you know how we are.
Yeah.
Yes, we got this. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.